Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Tonight's video is a grocery haul, the biggest one of this year. It's our December grocery haul, plus it's going to feature some of the Christmas presents that my husband purchased me for Christmas. So I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the holidays and that. I wish you, if you celebrate, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay, this is the long-awaited grocery haul in December. Most of our grocery hauls for the last 9 months, just the food part, not our cat, not gas, not household goods or toiletries or anything like that, just food. We've been buying between $180 and $230 worth of food, probably for about the last 9 months. But if we add back in our cat food and our fuel for a 30 days period of time, and here and there some household goods and toiletry, we've been going about $430 or $480 a month for 9 months. Now, previous to that, our grocery budget, to include all things food, household goods, toiletries, cat, and gas, was $1,000. But due to a lot of different things, and they're still ongoing, we still have car issues. We pinched pennies. We did not touch our savings because that is put aside for something that's even more vital, and that is a new car. We have a 16-year-old cat, a 16-year-old car, and we've lived in this apartment for 16 years. So it's time for a new place to live. It's just that right now rents are extremely high everywhere we could go, even if we moved, packed up and moved to a different state. So, and as far as houses and that, we are not prepared to pay, the increased interest rates. So we've got a lot to deal with, but we have to do it at this time, even though it's a bad time to do it. Just take baby steps. So what we did for 9 months was we were as conservative as humanly possible. Learn to live within a very strict budget, learn to do without a lot of things, and in the meantime fixed our cat to the best that we could, even though currently we're going through some issues again. Fixed our car so it continued to run and take my husband to work every day and take us to get groceries and other things that we had to do on a weekly basis, and we're just maintaining. But come December and that, we had put enough aside to be able to go out and buy groceries that we had done a little while without, and also buy groceries for holiday cooking and some holiday meals. And there was so many things we were out of that most of the things that I'm going to show you we no longer had in the household. So without further ado, we went to the produce department immediately, and I bought my lettuce, and we bought some spinach and a large bag of carrots, and then the small carrots, and then just a couple of bananas. Most of the bananas were really green or really bruised, and then a cauliflower. And I know the cauliflower was $2.83, the carrots were $3.88, the spinach was $2.68, my lettuce was $4.68, the baby carrots were $1.48, and the bananas were 52 cents a pound. So that is the produce that I bought. Okay, then we moved into the meat department. We hadn't bought bacon in quite a while. When I buy bacon, that is 3 meals. So I do it all up in a pan in the oven. It takes about 20-25 minutes, and then I split it 3 ways. We'll have it that first meal usually with a breakfast meal. The second one will have BLTs, and the third one we may have a breakfast meal again from it. But we try to get 3 meals out of this, and most of the time we get 3 or 4. Some breakfast links. My husband went from, at one time, we've been married since he was 19, he's now almost 50. In the early days, he would eat 4 sausages at a crack, so a package would only last maybe 2-3 meals if I ate them, which I don't. I do eat bacon, but I don't eat these. And so now he's down to 2 sausages a meal, so obviously that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meals these last. And we have them about twice a month, so that'll last a while. I like these smoky links. I haven't had those for a long time, even though I fried up some here not too long ago. I think it took me about 3 months to eat one at a time. I like to take the whole package, fry it up, and then just pull 1 sausage out at a time to eat with eggs. Hard salami is the type of lunch meat he's having now, and what we do is we take this, we break it into 4 different packages, so this lasts for 30 days of meals. This was $1.98. We've not had cheese slices for a while because I couldn't really see anything that was healthy in the ingredients anymore. But I do long for a grilled cheese sandwich, so I bought these. These seemed healthier than like Kraft or something like that. So the bacon was just under $9. The smoky links were $2.68. These were $3 something, $3.68, $3.98. This was $4.50, $1.98. This was $4.52, I want to say. I'm making lasagna during the Christmas holidays, so I will use this whole entire block for lasagna. I've got ricotta cheese for it. I already have the noodles on hand, and I need to get spaghetti sauce because we don't have any spaghetti sauce in the whole house. And then we've got some mozzarella shreds for salads and pizza, and some Italian shreds. I also use this in our lasagna and on spaghetti. So we like cheese. That's the type of cheese that I like. Great Value or Crystal Farms. Like I said, it's not a priority yet, or it will be in January, but I just don't have the time yet, so we're still buying this. And each of these containers gives us 8 little cups. I think they're like a half a cup or 3/4 of a cup of yogurt. So that's pretty good. We pay $3.12 for those. $4.64 for orange juice. That lasts 2 work weeks. The Cliff Bars were $21, so just a little bit over $1 a bar, but he does like these for work. Ritz crackers and that, those were on an end cap on sale. I think those were $2 something, $2.68, $2.48. So, and then you can just get these little short stacks. Open them up. I think there's like 6, maybe 7 crackers in it. I don't know what the serving size is. The serving size is 5 crackers, so you're just having a little bit over the serving size. And that way the crackers don't get stale when you don't eat the whole sleeve. We needed peanut butter, so that was just under $5 for peanut butter. We only had 1 left in the house, and I'm going to be using that for baking. Chicken with rice soup. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but it's kind of like a comfort food for me all of a sudden, so I'm eating that. Applesauce. We don't usually buy these cups, but I am buying it this time. Unfortunately, last time I bought 4 containers of applesauce. When we unscrewed the tops of all the applesauce, it was all rotten inside. So then it would have meant that my husband would go to work without his applesauce, and not that that would be the end of the world. But yeah, that was kind of a bummer that I think each one of those applesauces were 3, so $12. The store gives you a credit in that, but that doesn't help you take the applesauce to work that day. So there we have it. The mustard, I was shocked. It was almost $3 for this little bottle of French's, but we don't use mustard that often. But when I do, I want it to be French's. So just under $3. There was larger containers of Great Value, but those were $4.50 something, $4.52 or $4.58, so that was more expensive yet. And not having gone through it, I bet that mustard would still be around in 2 years. So I just went with a little French's mustard. Carol syrup, that's used for some icing that I'm going to make for some holiday cookies. You just use just a little bit of it, and it helps the frosting or icing on the cookies adhere. Don't use this much, but I just started making homemade bread. The homemade bread that I recently made called for half a stick of butter if you didn't have any vegetable oil, which I hadn't had in the house for years. So just in case, and I know that a lot of this stuff isn't good and it's controversial, but just in case I don't have any butter, but I want to make bread now that I really, I think I probably could be pretty good at just making a regular pan loaf of bread. I have oil to do it with. And that was one of my goals for 2023 was to learn how to make bread. My goals for 2021 was to learn how to make homemade soup. And with those 2 things in mind, my husband and I will never starve because I now know how to make homemade soup and homemade bread. And that makes me very proud that I stuck to it even though I had an enormous amount of failures when it comes to bread. So speaking of bread, we got 2 of these. The reason that we don't have the bread from the local grocery store is now we know why it is so cheap. The slices are like 3/4 as big as these, just really little slices. So my husband was getting like 25 to 30% less of a sandwich. That doesn't make me very happy. I mean, we were paying $1.99 a loaf. This we only pay like $2 1/4. So just to save a few cents, he was getting less of a sandwich. So it just doesn't make sense to me. So we went back to Sara Lee for his lunch meat. Got some of these. If you've been around for a while, you know my back is always out. But this isn't my back, it's my hips. I'm 60 years old almost and spent too much time lifting people in and out of bed. So now I need these wet mopping cloths. A lot of the times I can get down and wash and wipe the floor, but sometimes I can't, and I like clean floors. So I bought these. These were like under nine something, $9.68. So it's still expensive for convenience, but there's 24 of them, and they will last me a little while. Here's freezer bags again. We did buy these again. Usually we only have about 160 a year. But yeah, I did that preserving all summer and fall, early winter, and I've been making cookies and doing different things. And I guess I've gone through 80 bags already. So I bought one. I was just going to buy one, and I decided I'll buy two. So that'll last me a little bit longer. Some Palmolive. That was, I think I said in the last haul, I couldn't find anything at a reasonable price, but this is at a reasonable price. I have tried all the real healthy ones, or the free and clears or whatever, and I got used to them not making suds, but they just don't last very long. So Palmolive lasts well in the water, and this great big container of 70 fluid ounces will last me 3 months. So I bought it, and it was just under $6. Was there anything else? Let's see. We did go and we bought soda because it's holiday season for entertaining and that. So we got some 7-Up, $10.88 for a case of that. Some Dr. Pepper for my husband, $10.88 a case for that. Some water for our cat's fountain. 24 cans of kitty food for him at 88 cents a crack. I want to say that is probably it. Oh, I got a pillow. I got some red carnations for the Christmas table. Hopefully they'll last that long, because I don't think I'll be back to Walmart or to a store to get some. So we'll see. And those were $4. I think, what is it, $4.97 or something for a bouquet. And I think that is it. We needed some allergy tablets, some Aspercream for my back, and oh yeah, and I bought a turkey, $1.28. I wanted to get a turkey at 99 cents, but I couldn't find any of the local stores anymore that had it for 99 cents, including Aldi's bunker for turkeys was empty. So I wanted to get a turkey at that price, couldn't do it, had my mind set that I wanted a turkey. We are having ham for Christmas, but and the ham right now is at its lowest price for the area, and that is $1.99 a pound. Otherwise, you pay anywhere from $2.99 a pound to $4.99 a pound for the ham. Now, when I bought my ham here about a month ago or 6 weeks ago, I paid $2.99. So kind of a bummer that it's on sale now, but we'll see if I have extra money left over, and I may get another ham. So that is what I have so far. I'm going to a bigger city tomorrow and buying stuff for baking, and so that clip will follow this clip for my grocery haul for December of 2023. Okay, and then we went on an hour trip away from home to get to kind of a, it's local to that area, but it's also where I come from, near where I grew up, and we've been shopping there. If you've watched my videos all along, we've been shopping there for probably 25 years. It's employee owned, and it does have really good prices. So we drove an hour away, and we bought some ground beef, it's been a while, and you'll notice the prices are expensive. There's no doubt about it. $15.87 for a pack of hamburger. The weight, this is a 3 pounds, so out of 3 pounds I'll probably get 3 to 4 meals. And it's $4.99 a pound. It has been higher. I can remember when we went down there during the pandemic, it was $6 and $8 and $10. I mean, it was just out. These packs were $30. So still they're high, but the lowest I think I've ever seen them since we've been buying them this big was probably $12, $9 to $12. So yeah, we're still paying pretty expensive. So 2 of those. So these are going to go in rotation. I've still got one from, I think, the last time I bought them, which is probably back in the summer. So I've got one of them left, so I'll put these 2 in the freezer and bring that one out. And then instead of go to restaurants anymore to get chicken tenders, I just make my own. That package is $7.06. That's $6.99 for per pound, which is quite expensive, and we got 1 pound of them. And then the salmon, we buy that once a month when we can afford to. $6.68 and $8.90. And this is 4 meals. So each one will have the salmon when I fry it up or bake it, and then we'll have the other half of the salmon fillet for salad. So 4 meals, $16, comes out roughly to be $4 a meal. We went to a hometown bakery near, again, where I grew up, and these are expensive. Obviously, we're paying for local people at a local business, and they're getting a living wage. So just a little package of cookies, $12.99, which I'll add to the cookies that I'm baking and make a nice cookie tray, and then some pumpkin bars, which I will also add. So they're delicious. It's a local bakery, a family-owned bakery, so we were happy to get these things in the grocery haul this month. Okay, then we got a couple of my husband's milk. So this, today is what, I think the 15th. This will last him until the 15th of January. So each one, he just has a little bowl of cereal on the weekend. So yeah, $4.18. When we just went out here the last 2 shopping trips, it wasn't available at the local grocery store, and it was not available at Walmart. So he's waited a little bit, and now we have 2 containers of it. Okay, some of these things I haven't been able to buy for a while. Local Walmart, Aldi, and the local grocery store have not had any of the applesauce my husband eats in stock. So when we went an hour away from home, we were able to buy 4 of them. And these usually cost about $2.50 a piece, and each one lasts us 2 work weeks. This is spaghetti is kind of a weird thing. I would say for well over a month, probably going into 2 months, the spaghetti shelves are empty in every store we go into, so we can't find anything other than a very, very small 98-cent package at Walmart. So not real sure what's going on there, but I was able to get the last box, the last 2-pound box at Walmart today. So there was this and about a dozen boxes of elbow macaroni, and that was it for the pasta aisle. Very strange. This is the spaghetti sauce that I do like. I know we did try Great Value, and it just has too big a chunks of garlic. It's just way too garlicky, and I can't handle that. So we went back to the sensitive recipe, which basically costs the same. It's like a quarter more, and then I have less stomach issues. I do like Thrive baking products. I've been using those for 4 or 5 years. But unfortunately, I can't afford the yearly subscription or the monthly subscription. This is not a sponsor or ad or anything like that for Thrive. I have done some videos about things that I bought from Thrive during the pandemic, and I really was grateful to have them, because when local stores are running out of everything left and right, especially flour and things to bake with, I was able to get it on an online grocery store. So, and at a reasonable, decent price. But they have since raised their monthly subscription, their threshold for what you get free shipping for, and then their yearly subscription. So I can't afford them anymore. So it's back to Great Value brand baking products, which is fine. I mean, baking is baking. The only thing I don't like about the Great Value baking powder is it has aluminum in it. When I bought stuff from Thrive Market, it did not. So, but I've been reading lately that there is the baking powder and baking soda loses its whatever its purpose is once you open it up, and every 30 days. And so maybe just buy something that's affordable, and every couple 2-3 months replace it. So I got some baking powder for 98 cents, baking soda for under $1.50, and then some flour that was under $3, a 4-pound bag, because I've got more cookies to bake. Probably the most bananas, or the most spent the most that we ever have on bananas, $3.27 for this bunch. They're real big and real heavy, so but we needed some. My husband loves the Raisin Nut brand. We also buy that at the grocery store an hour away. It's not available anywhere locally, so that was $4.99 a box. He wanted some Gardettos for the holidays, just under $4. Also not available around here at the local store or Walmart. I got some of my favorite yogurts. Those are on sale for 99 cents. I cleaned with Comet, so that was $1.08 at Walmart. Had a coupon for these Scentiva Clorox. Got these at Target for $3.70 something. Everything else, and I've used wipes for years for the toilet seats and stuff like that. And so all the rest of the wipes were $5.79 and up. So I was happy to get it at a reasonable price. Our laundry soap is $15.99. I think when we started buying this was $9.99. So yeah, it's gone up over the years. $1.24 for the paper napkins. We do use these once in a while for supper meals, especially when we eat things like pizza. So I was happy to get 2 bunches of those. Okay, and for this part of the video, I'm just going to kind of share what I got for Christmas now every year, and it's been for the 30 years that we've been married. I normally do not like, and I take after my mom, I don't really care to have my husband. I don't care about anyone else, but I don't really care to have my husband, and I guess if we had children, probably, I guess I would be okay with that, but I don't really care for like other people to buy my clothing for me or pajamas or shoes or anything like that. And oftentimes, in my experience, past experience and friends' experience, their husbands are often buying them jewelry, which I don't wear any jewelry, or they're buying them coats or stuff like that, purses, handbags, and I don't do any of that either. So it's kind of limited. It ends up being there's certain things that I like, primitive items being one of them. And my husband has gone out and surprised me. And in fact, this year he's surprising me with something I don't know about. But he has gone out and surprised me by buying primitive items. After 30 years of being together, he kind of knows what my taste is. This year I like to buy crafts or gifts that are made by people that are locally versus if I would go to a store or something like that, a big box store. So this year again, I went to a local primitive store, as I often do for birthdays and anniversaries and Christmas, and I picked up some things. My husband, like I said, did buy me a surprise gift, and then we had anywhere between, if it was $35 was actually what we wanted to spend on each other, but it went as high as $50. So, and what I have here is not $50, but close to it. So first of all, I bought a primitive doll. Never one for traditional dolls, but I do love the primitive dolls made with primitive materials. And if you know anything with primitives, you know, where it has a tea stain and stuff like that, I just absolutely love that. I started buying primitive things when I was 18 years old, and only when I was homeless or broke or working in healthcare did I stop, even though friends still did buy me little primitive items. But it's my favorite thing in the whole world. I would rather have a primitive item than clothing or a handbag, definitely jewelry. I don't own any jewelry except for a wedding band. So I would definitely like these. I don't get tired of them. I just change them out on shelves, change them out on a dresser, change them out on night tables. I don't have a lot or an overabundance, but all of the artwork that is in our home, if you're familiar with Billy Jacobs, is all Billy Jacobs. So, and it wasn't, outrageously expensive. I just bought it over the course of 30 years, sometimes a couple of pictures a year, supporting a local primitive store, and the most I ever spent on a framed picture was $30. So, but yeah, it's in every room all over. One day I'll do a tour. If you're into Billy Jacobs, let me know. So, this is an Annie, a version of Annie. So, she was $27, the most expensive thing I've ever bought besides a Billy Jacobs picture, primitive, at least in the last 30 years. Then I bought, that's made by a local artisan. I don't know, I think this is probably made by a company and sold via one of those primitive catalogs, but she does buy that stuff, obviously, and put on the shelves, but it's just adorable. A lot of the things I have are lambs or sheep. Okay, and then everything else I got was and is made by a local artisan in the area that I live in, and these are all Christmas tree ornaments. So we got a snowman with a little red cap and a scarf. We've got Santa's cap. We've got a nice little red stocking with some, oh yeah, really cool. And then I think this is a hat to wear to bed. You hear in the storybooks, the guy's always got one of these types of long hats. I think my dad used to wear a hat like that to bed. And then some bowl fillers, if you're familiar with primitive stuff. It's usually a decorative bowl that sits. So if you want to know prices for this type of stuff in the local area, The leaves are each $1, and then the flowers are each $2.50. So, and the hat, this was 3, 3, 3, 3. This was $16. Like I said, I think this is probably like, she has a beautiful primitive store in a 2-story, like an old farmhouse. It's just beautiful. And she's been in business for as long as I've lived in this area, so maybe even longer. She's one of the last ones standing. So, you know, they go to these shows and then they order all this primitive stuff. So this isn't, to my knowledge, by a local crafter or artisan. And neither is this sign. All you need is love and a cat. And then the easel to display it on. So the easel was 3. The sign was 3. This was 16. This was 27, local. All local. So, and that is what I wanted for Christmas. And so, like I said, my husband did get me a little surprise, which is great this year. It's just the way it's always been. I grew up in a household where my mom went and actually bought her own nightgowns. That's what we, in the old days, you know, moms and grandmas like to have a new nightie. So my mom would go out and buy her own nightgown, and usually we, in the 70s, women like to buy sets of dishes. So she would go to a fancy store and buy herself a set of dishes and some napkins, or a set of beautiful glasses or mugs and saucers, cups and saucers. And so my mom would bring that home, and I would wrap those items up for her. And usually she would do that like 6 weeks before Christmas. So I would set it underneath the tree, you know, the last 2, because we would get a real tree. So that would come into the house probably 10 days before Christmas. And I'd run down with the wrap gifts. My mom wouldn't have a clue of what she was getting for Christmas. By then she had forgotten all about it. So that's how I grew up. And so that's how I became. And it's not like I don't like surprises. I have friends or coworkers and other family members that obviously get me things that I'm not aware of. But yeah, when it comes to somebody close that could get me something and ask me, what do you want for Christmas? I'll just go and